Hey there, we're the Stewarts. This is my husband Hunter. He's smart, funny, loving, and he's pretty cute too. And this is me, Carly. Hunter and I have been married for about a year now. And these are our fur babies, Canyon and Summit. We adopted both of these sweet boys from rescues. Hunter and I grew up in a small town in southern Maryland, and we had every intention of buying a house and settling down there together. Until we started traveling. Every chance we could get, we would take off work to explore the U.S. It didn't take long for us to realize that we are happiest when we are traveling, hiking, and just enjoying the outdoors together. So we decided that we had to find a way to live everyday life like that. We bought a retired school bus in January 2021, spent 9 months converting it into our tiny home on wheels, quit our jobs, sold everything, and hit the road. With no itinerary planned, we have no idea where the road will take us next. If you would like to join us along our travels, click the subscribe button below for a new video every Friday. We just got to Congaree National Park. We're walking by on the boardwalk, and I see that there's a map here, which is awesome because we didn't get a map on our way in. Just dropped out of nowhere for us. After spending a few weeks in Florida, we decided to head home to Maryland. Home was about 15 hours from Florida, and we figured that this is probably the closest we would be for a while, so if we wanted to spend time with friends and family, now would be the time to do it. We decided to make a stop and enjoy Congaree National Park along the way. It only added an hour and a half to our drive home, so it was a no-brainer. Hunter and I have a goal of visiting every national park in the country together. Visiting Congaree made it so that we could check off our 30th national park together. The 2.5-mile boardwalk trail was a great place for us to stretch our legs. And our favorite thing about Congaree National Park is how dog-friendly it is. Furry friends are allowed on every single trail in the park. Although we only saw a couple squirrels while we walked the trail, we could tell from the sounds we were hearing that the trees were full of wildlife. At first glance, Congaree may just look like a bunch of trees, and you may ask yourself, why would I want to visit that park? But it's so much more than that. It's actually the largest expanse of old-growth forest in the United States. This floodplain forest also has one of the highest canopies in the world. We couldn't keep ourselves from continuously looking up at how tall the trees actually reached while we walked along the boardwalk. Although our time in Florida had seemed like the everlasting summer, it was clear along our drive home that it really was autumn. We were surrounded by fall foliage and cooler temperatures. As we got closer and closer to my dad's house, we wondered how the dogs would react when we got there. This is where we lived while we completed the bus build, so we were pretty sure it would still feel like home to the dogs. Canyon and Summit were indeed very excited to be back at my dad's house, and the first place they ran to was down on the pier. This was no surprise to us because many of the breaks that we took while we did the bus conversion were spent down on the creek with the dogs. I was lucky enough to spend over 20 years living on this creek. Much of that time was spent boating, crabbing, fishing, and making countless memories. We decided that since the water was so calm, a canoe trip to the Sandbar across the creek was in order. And Although we couldn't help but wish that the water was as warm and as clear as it had been in the Florida Gulf, it still felt great to be back. Before we quit our jobs and hit the road, I was a teacher and worked online during the pandemic. One of the perks of my time working online was that I had a 30-minute lunch break, and since I was home, I would spend 5 minutes canoeing to the Sandbar, enjoy 20 minutes there, and spend the last 5 minutes of my break canoeing back home to be back in time for my classes. As lucky as I was to be living at my dad's house and able to do that on my breaks while working online, it felt even better now that I had no time limit whatsoever.
Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Hey, darling, I love it when it's me and you, on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Yeah, we only get one life, I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand.
Our first night home, my dad caught 2 big rockfish, plenty of crabs, and we got to enjoy a wonderful sunset. It felt good to be back, and we were looking forward to taking in many of these moments before hitting the road again in a few weeks. For those of you who don't know, we Marylanders are crazy about our blue crabs, so they were the perfect welcome home dinner. They don't just taste great, but the amount of time it takes to sit down and pick them makes it so you spend more quality time with those you're enjoying dinner and conversation with. The next morning, we got started on our lengthy to-do list. Just like many projects, a bus conversion doesn't seem to ever really be completed. And after just 2 months on the road, we had come up with a list of things we needed to get done while we were home. In a few areas on the bus, the tannins from the wood had bled through the white paint. Something I learned is that you should apply a blocking stain primer before painting certain woods white. But since I didn't do this, I added a few more coats of white, and it seemed to take care of the problem. While I worked on the painting, Hunter added some hooks for better organization in the front of the bus. We were pretty tired of our shoes piling up, and the hooks seemed to solve that problem. And our big project arrived in a box. Some pretty hot nights in Florida brought us to the decision that we had to have this in the bus. If you have a guess as to what is in this box, put it in the comment section below. We will be installing it in our video next Friday. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. It would really mean a lot to us if you would like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you next Friday.